What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Forever News! The only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related, and we don't bore you. We get into it. Let's do it. I must go, must leave this house. I must go, the time is now. I must go, it's time to get out. Okay, before we get started, if you would hit that subscribe button, that bell to get notified. We drop new episodes of Forever News every Saturday, 12 p.m. EST, and throughout the week, we re-upload those segments for your viewing pleasure. Please hit them buttons. You benefit from it. I'd benefit from it. We all win. But now let's get into it. Okay, people, before we start anything, I wanted to say Happy New Year! It's 2023. There's a lot of new things that you could do, new opportunities, new avenues. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people, even though it literally is just the changing of a couple of numbers, nevertheless, use that as motivation to do whatever you want to do, whether you want to, start your career, whatever it is. I just wanted to say, yo, be inspired, do what you want to do, chase your dreams, and try and catch that W. But it is a little bit of a light week for news, but I'm still going to bring you guys some really awesome bangers. And first story on the docket. You may have heard of it. I reported on it for a while now. In case you don't know, there's this little side story in the Naruto-verse called Sasuke Retsuden, a spin-off series that takes place during about the time period of the Boruto era. Doesn't have the Boruto characters in it. It's basically about Sasuke going on a quest to try and save Naruto's life and get him some sort of medicine. Likewise, he's linked with Sakura and a bunch of cool stuff. And yeah, the manga adaptation of this novel has been pretty awesome right now, but there was an announcement that, yo, dog, they're gonna adapt this into anime adaptation form. And of course, many of us were like, yeah, let's go, it's gonna be hype, yeah! And of course, they dropped the bombshell on us. Well, it's gonna be in the Boruto anime. We hope you like, fam. And I was like, no! But either way, we got a whole bunch of information for what to expect from the Sasuke Retsuden anime, because initially I was extremely angry. I was kind of a little bit duped to a certain degree, but in a positive way, I guess you would say. I thought initially the Sasuke Retsuden anime adaptation was only going to be 2 episodes. All I saw was like 2 episodes, and then there was a big announcement. Hey, they're doing the Code arc coming into this year as well. So I was like, okay, well, Sasuke Retsuden ain't going to be much of anything if it's just 2 episodes, but at least there's going to be Code right after that. Until I get this information that, oh, Sasuke Retsuden isn't going to be a complete rush train, so to speak, like I thought it would be. Because, yeah, Sasuke Retsuden is going to be a little bit longer in the anime adaptation than those 2 episodes. Let's read everything we know so far. Because Sasuke Retsuden starts off at episode 283, called Sasuke Retsuden Starlines, and that will be January 15th, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to say that's a week after the first episode of Sasuke Retsuden. So, yeah, Sasuke Retsuden is going to be going on for quite some time at the very least. But for starters, 283, Sasuke Retsuden Starlines. In order to save Naruto, who has fallen ill, Sasuke decided to travel to an old astronomical observation facility named the Tataru Astronomy Research Institute. Sasuke then becomes caught in a dilemma where he gets attacked and subsequently poisoned by Meno, who was fulfilling his guard duties at the Research Institute. At that moment, Sasuke felt as though everything was all over for him. However, the key to saving him was Sakura. She had infiltrated the facility as a doctor. Sakura then informed Sasuke that she was there to assist him since there have been some modifications made to his original mission. I gotta add and stress that, yes, they're not taking Sakura out of this, because when they made that big announcement, yo, Sakura's VA is on break and stuff like that, I was like, oh, they're about to annihilate Sasuke Retsuden. They're gonna replace her with Boruto somehow. No! It was disaster. So reading those lines, that they're keeping at least some of the core content intact and not completely doing what Boruto does, where it's like, we want that content. A lot of that content kind of doesn't gel well with Boruto. They don't exist no more. Anything that we want, Boruto has. And they take and they take. And so the married couple embark upon their infiltration investigation. Based on the documents that Sakura had acquired, the cure to the Rakuto Senin's illness seemed to be a substance called the polar particles. In order for them to figure out the whereabouts of that material, the two of them know that they had to acquire a book called The Illustrated Map of the Heavenly Bodies. They then decide to search in the Institute's library for it. And again, that's 283. Then 284, Sasuke Retsuden, The Basement's Secret. Is this Attack on Titan? What are we doing here? Sasuke and Sakura were trying to to hunt down more information regarding the polar particles. They've got their eyes on an opportunity. A messenger for the Prime Minister from the capital city will be coming to visit the head of the Research Institute, Zansuru. There's a basement in Zansuru's room that Sasuke and Sakura would like to investigate. In order to buy some time, Sakura transforms herself into the messenger for the Prime Minister. While they are deceiving Zansuru, Sasuke tries to sneak into the basement. However, the plan does not go smoothly and they are left empty-handed. But then, mid-conversation, Zansuru says something disturbing. Well, considering the fact that they're in prison and this madness is ensuing, what else could this person say? And again, that episode will be taking place January 22nd. Then we got summary for Boruto Anime episode 285, and all of this is courtesy of Organic Dinosaur. Shoutouts to them. Sasuke Retsuden, the heavens descending upon the earth, January 29th. Sasuke and Sakura collaborate with one another in order to gather more intel about the polar particles, but even now there are still so many mysteries surrounding them. Sakura and Sasuke haven't been able to locate them either, but then Sasuke hears something from his cellmate. Those words enabled Sasuke to figure out a clue that would indicate the whereabouts of the polar particles. Meanwhile, Sakura has discovered a hint by solving the mystery behind the illustrated map of the heavenly bodies from the time she previously played a game called Starlines with one of the other prisoners. At last, they've gathered some crucial information. Finally, the two of them can try to acquire the polar particles, but then, and I want to say this is already past because like I haven't read, I want to say like the latest chapter or so of Sasuke, just because I was like, oh, well, they're announcing an anime of it. Let me leave some suspense, something for this, considering it's not like pulling out all the stops or whatever. So I think by 285, that's already past what I read from Sasuke Retsuden. And then last but not least, and I don't know if this is the final Retsuden episode or not, but Boruto episode 286, Sasuke Retsuden, The Ring, February 5th. Suddenly, a huge swarm of dinosaur beasts have appeared at the Research Institute. So they're keeping dinosaurs in there, but again, it looks like they're changing it, because in the manga, one of the first things that Sasuke fights is a dinosaur. Now this is saying by episode, 4, whatever, 5, I don't know, 4 or 5, that Sasuke is all of a sudden seeing dinosaur beasts appearing when, yeah, that should have probably already happened if they're going at this pacing. The Research Institute has now plunged into complete chaos. Sasuke and Sakura are now aware of Zansuru's dreadful ambitions. In order to try and stop Zansuru, they split up into two groups. Although Sakura has already made her way back into the Research Institute, she has gotten caved in right in the midst of the mayhem. Meanwhile, Sasuke has realized that Zansuru has an ally. Ooh, I wonder who's that. Sasuke tries to join forces again with Sakura, but seems to be unable to find her while they're on the verge of a crisis. Sasuke and Sakura, the strongest married couple in Konohagakure village. Will they be able to crush Zansuru's ambitions and bring home the polar particles in order to relieve Naruto of his illness? I wonder, is that the final episode of it, or is there going to be one more again? But either way, Sasuke Retsuden in the anime form, it sounds like if you're reading the manga for starters, don't expect too much of a fateful adaptation from manga to anime. It sounds like they're trying to keep some of those elements. They're not going completely off the deep end, because legit, I thought, oh, since this is Boruto and Boruto has nothing to do with the Sasuke Retsuden and stuff, they're going to somehow rewrite it and recast. Instead of having Sakura, they're going to have Boruto involved. But so far, no mentions of any of the next generation sneaking into the prison or being involved. At most, maybe they'll have them like at the same time doing something else in another, place or whatever. But yeah, it doesn't sound too bad so far. I'm looking forward to it. The art and animation don't look great, but let's see what they do with it. I'm a little bit excited at the very least. And while we're in the ballpark of Naruto, in case you missed it, at Shonen Jump Festa, one of the big announcements amongst the few, because there was quite a few announcements. Again, it was like, hey, we're working on the code art coming in February, I believe. There was a couple different things. The Naruto Top 99, where you could vote for your favorite character, and the winner, number 1, is going to get an original manga done by Masashi Kishimoto. And there was one other thing, which I feel like is a little bit of a historic landmark considering what's happening. Because according to this article, Naruto creator Masashi Kishimoto redraws first ever cover page for this month's Saikyo Jump, which I want to say Saikyo Jump is now out. And again, it's like a historic thing, because how many years ago was Naruto's debut? Hyping up the latest issue of the monthly Saikyo Jump manga magazine, which was released today in Japan, is a cover drawn by Naruto creator Masashi Kishimoto. Although the fact that Kishimoto drew a cover for a magazine isn't all that remarkable, what is notable is that Kishimoto redrew the original Weekly Shonen Jump cover page that held the first chapter of Naruto in his latest style. And again, you just see the actual magazine comparisons of issue 43 and 99. and now, and you can definitely see the evolution of Kishimoto again. Like, you can see that looks like damn near two different Narutos. Like, even his face shape, there's no goggles. Obviously, Naruto, he had to abandon those goggles, and honestly, it's kind of cool to just see like where Kishimoto's at with his art. At the very least, you could throw the argument that he still got it. He could still draw Naruto. Let's freaking go. And the cover again was drawn to celebrate the magazine's special Naruto feature that looked back at the franchise's history. So it definitely seems like they're going to ride this wave for, at the very least, the next couple years of, hey, it's the big anniversary for Naruto. It seems like that's what the fate for a lot of series are. And that'll probably even be the fate for One Piece unless something drastic happens of, hey, yo, there's a new, One Piece. Oda just did this. And it's like minuscule in a certain degree, but iconic at the same time. Okay, people, next up, some pretty awesome stuff regarding gaming and One Piece. Y'all know, in case you don't, it's been a little minute since we got announced that One Piece is getting another game. And I was like, okay, what are we gonna do with it? We had a couple of different, we had that open world game that came out for the next gen consoles, but it kind of felt limited. There's, of course, the Pirate Warriors game. I think Part 4 was the last one to come out, and I had that for the Switch. That was actually pretty dope. But we got a new One Piece game that's on the horizon, One Piece Odyssey. And off rip, for starters, I'm seeing that they're doing this little treasure sweepstakes where you could possibly win a Luffy statue alongside another character. I'm not sure exactly which character that is. It kind of looks like somebody maybe from Fishman Island or Madam Shirley, but I don't think that's the case. But yeah, One Piece Odyssey actually releases January 13th, 2023, so we're not that far away, and thank freaking goodness. I'm sure my copy of Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, the only video game I play, and if you follow my Forever Spaces Twitter, you would know that. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have another game to throw on and actually have some fun. I really hope they fix some of the mechanics of, like, dog, if it's gonna be like that open world One Piece game that came out beforehand. But based on the trailers, it looks like it's gonna be loads of fun. It's One Piece. I love One Piece. If you love One Piece and you love gaming, I think this is actually going to be the first next-gen console One Piece game at that. And I'm not trying to sell you on it by no means. I have no, I gain nothing from it, but I'm just really excited. I don't game that often, but when I game, I do. So yeah, January 13th, 2023, One Piece Odyssey. I think it's not only for PS5, of course. I believe it's going to be for the Xbox as well. I just hope they don't go back to the previous Xboxes. Like, how far are we going to go, dog? At the end of the day, let's try and keep this as current gen gaming experience as possible, because it's starting to get a little old of you're making games for the PS4 and just scaling them for the PS5. Like, can we get a PS5 meant anime game, whatever it may be? Because again, this is an adventure RPG, it seems. Next up, Hunter x fans, the roller coaster doesn't end. I know y'all probably thought, what now, dog? Like, yo, Fenev, you just reported not that long ago that Togashi gave his final word. I'm out, guys. I'm gonna go figure it out, and I will return. And yeah, you're probably like, okay, is he returning? What's happening? Well, we just got a little bit of confirmation that, in my opinion, kind of clarifies, and I could be totally off on this, that maybe Hunter x Hunter won't return to Shonen Jump at all, not even in the form of a monthly release. And you're probably like, well, no, he's not going to return to weekly Shonen Jump because he's not doing it weekly anymore. Well, there's a few series over the time period of a lot of these magazines' publication that have actually had the luxury of, despite being monthly series, getting released in a weekly magazine once a month. Boruto did it for a while. I want to say, I forget which publication it was, but Claymore did it for a while. Despite being a monthly, they just released it in a weekly magazine. So a lot of people were like, well, maybe they're just going to release Hunter monthly through Shonen Jump the way they did Boruto for like the first however many chapters. Doesn't seem to be the case. Because according to this, it says, it appears Hunter x Hunter is no longer listed as absent in weekly Shonen Jump's table of contents as of issue 6/7, 2023. Nothing is yet known regarding the continuation of the series, so we'll keep informing on the matter. And you're probably like, well, yeah, they're not listing it because it's not active. Well, the thing about it is that most of the time, especially throughout all of Hunter x Hunter's run, damn near every magazine, they remind you that Hunter x Hunter's still in the magazine. They say, yo, it's still, it's just on break, it's absent, that's all that's happening. Even if it's a 3-year hiatus, it's absent. However, the fact that they've removed it and is no longer listed as absent, it seems to be the case, not only, of course, that it's not going to be weekly as they proclaimed, but it looks like even that monthly release probably won't go to weekly Shonen Jump. So they're probably going to use the massive title of Hunter x Hunter to have people flock to wherever they want them to go to, because there's quite a few Shueisha magazines. I mean, again, there's, of course, Shonen Jump. I believe there's like Ultra Jump of sorts, something like that. There's V Jump. Personally, V Jump I feel like would be a bit much, because honestly that's really for like spin-off series and stuff like that, like Boruto and Dragon Ball Super and card game related stuff. Although, a Hunter x Hunter Greed Island V Jump manga wouldn't be too bad, and who knows, maybe that would be the place. But then there's also the one that I probably expect the most, the digital publication of Shonen Jump Plus. Because if you could get people to go to Shonen Jump Plus using Hunter x Hunter, you damn near won, because it's already massive. It's already huge. Most of the titles that come out of Jump Plus, for whatever reason, they explode. Not all of them, but you got the Spy Families, you got the Kaiju Number 8, Chainsaw Man 2 is housed over there now. Like, Jump Plus is a big deal. So adding a legend like Hunter x Hunter, Yoshihiro Togashi, giving him the reins to, okay, you want to do once a month? Fair enough. You want to do one every other month? Fair enough. Just to get some consistency on the way. But it is telling that at the very least, Weekly Shonen Jump and Hunter x Hunter's history seems to be not necessarily no more, but just that, history. It looks like Hunter x Hunter is going to be moving on from Weekly Shonen Jump, and I expect it to. I don't think there's a reason now. Maybe back then they didn't really have things sorted yet, especially on the digital side of things for like Boruto or going back to Claymore. We're in a different era now. I mean, aside from just, striking a deal and making sure everybody's happy with what they're getting out of it, put them in Plus. Jump Plus sounds like the perfect avenue for Hunter x Hunter, especially again now that it is no longer listed as absent in Weekly Shonen Jump. And that's kind of crazy. Hunter been going since like what, 97, 98? Like, that's a long time. But as I've been stating, one of the things is that we 100% cannot remove our vision from the whole point of that, hey, this might actually benefit the fans in a great way. Of course, it's seemingly going to benefit Yoshihiro Togashi in a sense that it's going to give him the flexibility and the position to be able to create on a consistent basis. Because with the next return, it's going to tell us damn near everything we need to know about the future of Hunter x Hunter. If the next return, Yoshihiro Togashi is still clowning around, because now this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. They've been waiting for something to shake. They've been waiting for something to fix this situation. If this thing doesn't put Togashi on the path of, I'm dropping once a month, once every other month, or you're getting 6 a year, or some type of release schedule, then just never even expect once that Togashi is going to be consistent, period. If there's no consistency upon this return, that is no longer going to be in Weekly Shonen Jump, Togashi's never going to be consistent, and it's over for any hope of that. At the very least, that's how I feel about it. But either way, Yoshihiro Togashi's Hunter x Hunter manga, after so many years, is no longer listed as absent in Weekly Shonen Jump, meaning more than likely when it returns, it'll be in a whole different publication, and again, it's the end of an era. Crazy. Okay, next up, just a quick little word from Shueisha Weekly Shonen Jump, and in general, the advertisements that they got, because, of course, they post advertisements all over the place, but it seems as though this is what Shonen Jump's motto is going to be coming into the new year, because their classic motto, of course, is effort, victory, friendship. That's one of their main shticks, so to speak. But it seems as though coming into this new year, they have a different motto, because Shueisha New Year's newspaper advertisements for 2023 say, more and more interesting is the publisher's goal for this upcoming year. So it's just to make things more interesting, so to speak. There's no other type of, I guess you could say attack plan with this one. And honestly, that sounds about right, considering the fact that they're scaling up. Anime and manga is scaling like we've never seen before. It's becoming a lot larger and whatnot. Yeah, maybe effort, victory, and friendship in 2023, especially something that people just laugh at and make fun of, maybe ain't the best motto to push, especially when you're trying to get more people into it with advertisements or whatnot. Maybe switching it to more and more interesting sounds about right. That's the way you would sell me a comic. Like, yo, dog, we're making more and more interesting stuff. You should check this out. Opposed to, yo, there's effort, victory, and friendship in our magazine. Come through. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you can hold that. I got a lot of that already. Thank you. But yeah, people, it seems as though Shonen Jump is switching up the flow. You know how they say, Banks told me, cuz go ahead, switch the style up. And if they hate to let them hate to watch the money pile up. Like, Shonen Jump is like, yo, we gonna switch style up. They can hate. We gonna let the money pile up. We got Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and yeah. Next up, another story in the world of Shonen Jump. Again, with Weekly Shonen Jump being absent, we still managed to scrounge the barrels to find some news for you. And this one in particular is interesting because it was already confirmed. I want to see how they're going to handle this one. Because Jump Plus, despite the fact that everything is growing and whatnot, there has still been a ton of titles that you can't read. I can't read legally at the very least on all of the major apps. They're still locked, or at the very least they were. It's like, yo, you get your hands on Spy Family, you get your hands on Kaiju number 8, we'll give you Chainsaw Man, but a lot of the other maybe hidden gems you didn't have access to. But it seems as though 2023 is breaking the mold altogether. Because according to this, it says, friendly reminder, starting 2023, all new Shonen Jump Plus app series will be officially translated and simul-published at Manga Plus. This will apply to all new serials starting from January onward, excluding indie works, which will also receive an immediate English translation. So the indie works aren't going to be like straight up the way they're handling their own in-house stuff, but nevertheless, we're going to be getting a lot more manga, and I think that's pretty big and good news in general that, okay, 2023, it's solidified. We're about to have a whole bunch of stuff that you couldn't have access to. They're about to translate it, bring it over, and that'll be probably a good time to find a hidden sleep or see what they're actually doing outside of, like, because you got to imagine, everything I've read about Shonen Jump Plus has been that, yo, dog, there's a whole bunch of different series there. But again, we didn't have access to a lot of those. They only really put in the forefront a lot of, you know, the big ones, Spy Families and whatnot. So the fact that they're deciding to make this move, and also with the indie comics, because I've been seeing on the scene as well that Jump Plus has actually been taking, let's just say, you watching right now, you have your own comic, they feel you're ready, they've been taking them, bringing them, letting them publish on Jump Plus, and even they've started with a couple of series, releasing some of those as manga in physical form as well. So like Jump Plus has a lot of benefits to it. So I'm gonna, like I said, keep on supporting it. It'll have a whole bunch of new titles. I'm gonna look out for that. Maybe get some reviews going on the main channel for Neverworld of some of these chapters, and just to get a glimpse of, okay, well, what's happening outside of all the mainstream stuff we know of in Jump Plus, because they have a lot of manga and they're growing every day. Okay, next up, I have a list of majority of the newbies in Weekly Shonen Jump that released their latest volumes of manga, and we're not necessarily going to talk about, oh, it sold 10,000 or anything like that. We do that in the top 50 best-selling manga of the week segment. You can check that out over there. One of the things I really wanted to speak about, though, is that it really just looks like a lot of these newbies are just not matching up. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again in case you ain't here. It feels like the peak of Weekly Shonen Jump so far, the climax, has been the Chainsaw Man Jujutsu Kaisen era. Since that era has kind of come to a close in terms of the manga of like them being newbies. Obviously, Jujutsu Kaisen's still going and Chainsaw Man's in Jump Plus. But that era, that class, so to speak, of manga feels like has not been surpassed or even close to being met since it happened. Like all of the newbies in Weekly Shonen Jump from the next generation over, Sakamoto Days, Undead Unluck, and things of that nature haven't really exploded. It feels like, again, that was the previous, you know, anchor. That was the previous big dog. But over here with the Shoseki rankings, I'm looking at it and it's like, dog, what is... I don't know if Shonen Jump is going to be in some real trouble. I know a lot of people will be like, yo, you're fear-mongering. But to me, it looks like it's trouble when you can't top an era that is already a few years old. Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen were like 2018, 2019 manga. Yeah, they're still kind of going, and of course Jujutsu Kaisen is more popular than ever, but always thinking about, well, okay, yeah, Akutami said that the manga is about 1 year away from ending. What comes next? What replaces Black Clover that it's on its final arc? What replaces My Hero Academia now that it's final arc? What's going to replace One Piece now that it's on its final arc? And then I look at this list and I'm like, okay, well, Super Smartphone debuting its latest volume at 170, and of course it's canceled already, which I guess smart move, although I kind of question this. Follow me this one. Because they're going to cancel a Super Smartphone and a ton of other manga, right? Because sales didn't go good. So oftentimes I look at it, because, you know, the placing is based, of course, on the sales that they performed and whatnot. Why would it be in Shonen Jump's best interest to send out, let's just say, 10,000 copies, 20,000 copies of Super Smartphone Week 1 when they have no plans to ever continue it again? So I feel like sometimes when I look at, again, the Super Smartphone at 170 place, a High School Family at 121, it's because they don't see the value in shipping out more books. Because, yes, there is a certain degree of, like, like, you know, supply and demand. But in general, there's nothing that they could gain from Super Smartphone. It's a failure that they had to cancel. So you're going to be at 170 place. You're not going to sell that many books because they're not going to print as many books, and they're not going to ship out as many books because they feel, based off of their reader surveys and all of the knowledge that they accumulate, it's time to cancel this one. People probably don't care about it. Let's move forward. And then you go up a little bit, you see that P debuts at 18 with its latest volume. Again, that's not great. I think it was just confirmed that P is like at 400,000 copies sold with like 6 volumes, something like that. Not the greatest bang in the world, although a proper anime for that will help. Yozakura Family, I think they, for the 5th time, announced the anime is coming. Plays 16 again. I don't expect the sales to be much. And then you see like 5 and 6, Witch Watch and Elusive Samurai. Out of all of these manga right here, I will say that Elusive Samurai has a chance of being a big shonen hit. P is going to have its own lane. Yozakura Family has a chance. I feel like the top 4 have somewhat of a chance, with Elusive Samurai being in the lead and P being right behind. I have not read Witch Watch and Yozakura Family, but I don't know, man. You compare this era to Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen's big era, don't stack up. Not for me anyway. I don't see Super Smartphone or High School Family and be like, yeah! Okay, next up, I wanted to cover a lot of the art that was released for New Year's from major authors. Think like, you know, My Hero Academia, whatnot. A lot of these creators for New Year's, they released like either messages, statements, or in general, some new exclusive art of the characters from their manga or for the anime, wide variety of things. So let's take a look, starting off with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Kohei Horikoshi. He posted this picture of, oh god, really, Horikoshi? Why is Deku dressed as Mirko? What's going on here? Deku dressed as Mirko? No, that's no bueno. Mirko looks amazing. Uraraka, ears, Jiro, like everybody look cool. Then we got Deku here, and he said, sorry for the late greeting. Happy New Year. Thank you for the continued support for My Hero Academia this year. Mirko's clothes overlap with the anime New Year's card illustration, and I'm guessing he was going to say very well. And yeah, that's not the wave at all. Like, yo, Mirko, absolutely great. She looks amazing. The other two, cool beans. Deku, stop. Like, yo, Horikoshi, you know what you're doing, dog. You know what you're doing. You know what be in those Twitter searches when you look up anything My Hero Academia. You know, dog. You know. Then we got, I don't believe this is courtesy of Gege Akutami. I could be off on that, but this is from the official Jujutsu Kaisen account. We have a picture of Yuji, and it looks like he's holding a rabbit, and I think that's to signify that we're in the year of the rabbit. So that's probably why they did that. But yeah, I don't think that was Gege, and it kind of looks, well, maybe it could be, I don't know. Then we got Roboko, really, just as like a rabbit. Was there any year? Oh, okay, the year of the rabbit, Mirko, and then Yuji's holding a rabbit. Roboko's dressed as a rabbit. Then we got Martial Magic and Muscles. Okay, he actually, or the people behind this one, which I think this is more like Piro and the anime staff themselves, didn't go with the typical rabbit thing. They just had him like get his face painted Mosh or whatnot. But that actually looks really dope. That looks straight off out of the anime. Then we got an art from, really? That's P. That looks like, I don't know, like some weird Demon Slayer art. That actually looks really cool. That was released for 2023's New Year. We got a couple of more. What series is that? I'm not even sure what series is that. It's like a giant rabbit with 2023 on his chest, but all right. And then we got Black Clover, Asta. I believe that's one of the looks that they used from one of the covers of the magazine, but they wanted to show off that. Asta looking a little bit drippy, and I like seeing that these authors are excited and enthusiastic about the New Year's. There's plenty of more Shonen Jump art from the artists and whatnot, but it's just really cool to see the authors in bright spirits and what they're going to bring to the table for this new year. Okay, people, next up, we absolutely have to talk about this. We got to talk about what's happening in Japan right now. What's going on, dog? There's something in the water. Because, fam, they are absolutely admiring and adoring, apparently, seemingly, 3D CG animation, bro. Dragon Ball, what have you done? I'm gonna blame Dragon Ball. I'm gonna blame Dragon Ball. Hear me clear. I'm blaming Dragon Ball for this one. This is Dragon Ball's fault. The moment they decided, yo, let's give it a shot with 3D CGI, the moment maybe some early numbers show that the West really cares, dog, it's over. It's over. It's over. The only thing we could, I guess, kind of sort of hope for, and even then that's a sticky situation, is that AI 2D animation really comes in quick. That way it'll be cheaper still to produce 2D animation over 3D CG. But in terms of 3D CG success, look at Slam Dunk right now, dog. Slam Dunk, yet again, tearing it up, surpassing Dragon Ball Superhero in Japan. Like, this is absurd. Because apparently, according to the Japan box office, the first Slam Dunk maintains its #1 position for 5 consecutive weekends. 5 weekends, people have ran out to watch this 3D Slam Dunk movie and kept it at #1. Where are we in society right now? The momentum continued even during the New Year's break. In the 5th week, the first Slam Dunk, the new anime feature film adaptation of Takahiko Inoue's basketball-themed sports manga in the 1990s, still earned an impressive 362 million yen, about $2.75 million, on 276,000 admissions, maintaining its #1 position for 5 consecutive weekends. In 32 days since its release in Japan on December 3rd, the 124-minute film, oh wow, that's over 2 hours, made $50 million on 4.6 million admissions to become the 4th top grossing Japanese anime film of 2022. Coming in second was still Makoto Shinkai's latest feature, Suzume, which stayed on the same position for 5 weekends. In other words, the first Slam Dunk and Suzume have kept their 1-2 position for 5 weeks, beating James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of the Water. That is huge. In third for 3 times, Suzume earned 245 million yen, about 1.86 million on 199,000 admissions in its 8th weekend, bringing its total to 85 million. Yo, Makoto Shinkai, they making sure they're gonna keep him as a top dog. Now it has become the 12th top grossing Japanese film of all time, behind Hayao Miyazaki's The Wind Rises that came out in 2013 and did 12 billion yen. Dog, what's in the water in Japan, bro? I don't care though. No. Next thing you know, they're gonna tell me that the 7 Deadly Sins movies that are on Netflix right now are the greatest thing they've ever seen. That 3D CG really just, it did it for me, lad. And I do all of that absolute silliness to say that I don't understand this, dog. What's happening? I feel like to a certain degree, the honest truth, 3D CG, we're not only seeing the beginnings of it, it is making major waves. Like, this is gonna be, I could see by like 2026, 2027, a large percentage of the anime being created being 3D CG, and that's scary because if Slam Dunk is able to do 5 consecutive weekends, all they got to do is just keep tweaking the 3D CG. They're already basically there. They've already accepted this is the route we're going on. We got Dragon Ball Superheroes. We got this. We got Pyro that's hiring 3D CG animators. We got, you know what I'm saying? The 3D CG virus, you can't ignore, and it's clear with this one. It's here. And I say virus like this is the worst thing in the world. Like, I did like Superhero. I ain't gonna cap on that. I've said it before, but I don't know. That Slam Dunk movie still look rough to me. And the fact that it's beating out Superhero in Japan. And what? Okay, next up, it was something interesting that I wanted to report regarding the world of Dragon Ball. It seems like there's a little something every week now when it comes to Dragon Ball now that it's returned. But in particular, it was something to do with Trunks. And apparently a decision that Toyo Taro, the guy that's actually drawing Dragon Ball Super, never thought in a million years would happen with Trunks. And we find out that Toriyama actually been calling some shots and making some stuff happen, allegedly, according to them anyway. So let's read this one because I find it interesting. Is Dragon Ball Super's new superhero story arc ruining Trunks? Is Dragon Ball Superhero's new story arc ruining the character of Trunks as we know him? If you haven't been following events in the Dragon Ball franchise recently, the new manga arc is serving as a prequel to the recent movie that was released in theaters last year. Part of the story is providing expanded context about what was happening on Earth while Goku and Vegeta were away fighting the epic battles of the last few manga arcs. And as it turns out, Trunks and his buddy Goten were quite busy indeed. First chapter of the manga's return is of how Trunks and Goten are spending their teenage years balancing between the demands of school and teen angst and their moonlight quest as costumed superheroes, keeping the city safe in their father's absence. Trunks, in particular, has been shown to be living a Peter Parker / Spider-Man kind of life, I like the way they put it, with his hero activities doing everything from getting him in trouble at school for tardiness to costing him a date with the girl he really wants to take out. Needless to say, it's a very different side of Trunks than we've seen before, but is it a good new dimension of the character? Trunks really became a breakout hit icon of the Dragon Ball series in Dragon Ball Z, which introduced us, of course, to future Trunks, a young adult version of Vegeta's son, who grew up in the dark future, overrun by the androids. Future Trunks was a badass, yada yada. We know about Future Trunks, so I'll get to it. The future Trunks character, who was more of a hardened, sword-toting badass, apparently made a return to Dragon Ball Super, yet hailing from another dark alternate future that was overrun by Rogue Kai Zamasu. Either way, Dragon Ball fans have come to know and love Future Trunks as the definitive Trunks, and that is 100% facts. I gotta agree with the person that wrote this article. Who wrote this article? Do we got an author? Kofi Outlaw. I absolutely agree. That was, of course, Trunks. Like, I remember back in the day, people were sending in fan art of Trunks to Toonami, and Toonami had to say, we can't accept it and put it on air right now, dog. We haven't even licensed the episodes for Trunks yet. What are y'all doing? Like, that's how popular Trunks was, that even back then, pre, the way the internet is now, fans knew about Trunks and were excited for him to come to the anime. And so the article raises the question, is Dragon Ball Super ruining Trunks? In a recent interview, even Dragon Ball Super's mangaka Toyotaro admitted that he would never have thought of Trunks as a teenage character running around in a superhero costume, because that was not the impression of Trunks he had from Dragon Ball Z. None of us had it. It was actually Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama who insisted on Trunks getting this new element of his character explored. And honestly, with all the really awesome and cool things you could do with Trunks' character, Toriyama coming up with, yo, let's just make him like a great Saiyaman knockoff story wannabe. Like, no. You don't go from one of the most badass characters that chopped up Mecha Frieza, packed up King Cole, was on some really epic stuff, and then he likes to dress up in a costume from time to time and be a hero. Now granted, obviously it's two different Trunks. One of them came from literal hell. Their world was freaking hell, to this Trunks that kind of grew up very coddled, very, so there's going to be the change. Also, this is a world where Trunks got to grow up with Gohan, and that also keeps that dynamic in there. So I kind of like that aspect of it, of like future Trunks looked up to Gohan in his timeline, now in this timeline looks up to Gohan yet again, and that's really cool. This was pretty interesting. We got word apparently from the author of Jujutsu Kaisen on which characters they think remind them of Thanos. Jujutsu Kaisen been around for years now, and of course all eyes are on the series this year. After all, the anime is gearing up for season 2, which will have Yuji doing plenty. His beef with Mahito hasn't gone anywhere. Yes, that's right, Mahito might not have nothing to do with the Avengers, but he shares something in common with Thanos, the Mad Titan. During a chat, Gege Akutami admitted he likens Mahito to the Marvel villain, and he has good reason to. Mahito is intrinsically evil, and I hope I pronounced that word right, and he only thinks about making humans suffer deep down. But can he be proven wrong? His situation reminds me of Thanos in Avengers Endgame. In the end, I never felt hatred for him. So apparently Gege Akutami's on some wild boy stuff, and he really liked him some Thanos, and yeah, he really liked Mahito, even though Mahito is irredeemable type of dude. It seems as though that's where Gege got the influence from, and that's absolutely nuts, dog. I love hearing stuff like that. That's why I appreciate author commentary, and why you should subscribe to Forever News, because I give you all the little tidbits and insights you probably would never known about that influence with Thanos and Mahito, although admittedly Thanos is probably in another league, but Mahito's pretty epic as well. Okay, next up, something that I wanted to mention, and I'm kind of shocked about it, is apparently in next week's top 50 best-selling manga, we got a little bit of a leak, and it seems as though Rurouni Kenshin, the Hokkaido Arc 8, is so freaking popular, it is outselling with this volume Don the Don, the Elusive Samurai, all of the newbies, Jujutsu Kaisen, even though it's like in its, I don't know what, 4th or 5th week, but this is why they're bringing back the Kenshin anime, because look at that, that's freaking huge. Okay, next up, My Hero Academia fans, in case you don't know, season 6 is underway. We just wrapped up the midway point for season 6, and apparently it seems as though My Hero Academia is going to be getting a new ending and opening, but there's something interesting, and it's probably that they're going to be putting a lot of works for the second half of season 6. Maybe you wasn't a fan of the war of season 6 so far, but based on what they're doing, and I'll explain in a second, it might actually look really gorgeous or something. Because again, there was a preview of Saturday's episode of My Hero Academia season 6 part 2 with Ochako looking desperate. There's going to be a new ending by Kitakaze by Six Lounge, and the opening artist is... And of course, this will be Saturday. And the thing about it is that why aren't they saying the opening artist? They always say who the opening artist is. That means that they're probably going to get a big group or a big singer to do the song, because they're probably putting in all the works. I mean, alone, based off that preview, that shot of Ochako looks great. Deku looks okay too. So I'm going to throw my hat in the race and saying that season 6 of My Hero Academia is where Bones is going to pour all of their love into making it the anime that a lot of people wanted the first half to be, and just in general what it deserves. Also because now that Studio Bones doesn't have Mob Psycho 100, they might take more of the talented staff from them and allocate them over to My Hero Academia, because them teasing an opening artist, like, they never do that. So they're probably going to make these next episodes in this last part of the season special, and I definitely think it deserves it. Honestly, I felt like the first half of the season should have been treated like, yo, this is special, this needs top tier Studio Mappa, Studio Ufotable type of look. But yeah, I'm expecting greatness for the second half of season 6. Don't let me down, Bones. We don't got Mob Psycho no more to use as an excuse that you have these separated groups. Bring them over. Quick update. I don't even know why this is a thing, but Dragon Ball's 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai arc will be the 5th DLC after Bardock's DLC for DBZ Kakarot. Okay, initially for some reason I thought that this was going to be Xenoverse, and I was like, really? More DLC for Xenoverse? Like, why? Kakarot, it's a little bit newer than that, so I'm gonna throw some leeway, even though, can we get some new games? Kakarot's cool, it's an open world, all that stuff, but for the love of goodness, can we please get some new freaking games? Dragon Ball, what happened, dog? We went from a new game every year for years and years and years to it's been a drought, and they left us with a few games, but dog, I beat Xenoverse years ago. I played with my friends all day and night years ago. I'm not going to go back to that. Kakarot is cool and all. Never really got that invested into it. It felt like the open world felt a little bit constricted. Likewise with that other One Piece open world game. So, yeah, I don't know. They're still supporting Kakarot, which at the end of the day, Kakarot is not fighters or nothing like that. It's a different animal in and of itself. So, kind of cool that they're adding it, I guess, but I don't know. Give me a new Dragon Ball game already. Well, they gave us the Breakers, but that was a flop. And a reused skin of Xenoverse 2. Like, yeah. Okay, people, so I know you're probably like, hey, Feneb, what's going on? Why aren't you on screen? Why are you interrupting the episode? What happened? Well, as I told you earlier in this episode, it was a light week for news, and despite the fact that at the time of recording, there was not that many stories, there's a few other stories that popped up, and personally, I wasn't satisfied with the completion of this episode being as is, so I got a few more stories I'm gonna add in between here. I'm not on camera, obviously, but nevertheless, I still wanted to bring you guys the news, so let's get started, shall we? For starters, we got an update to a story earlier in this episode regarding My Hero Academia and what's happening at the very least with the artist that is going to be doing the new opening, because My Hero Academia, probably as you're watching this episode right now, you can go listen to it with season 6 part 2. There's a new song, but initially they were hyping it, not showing the name of the artist, and personally I felt like, okay, there's probably a big investment in there. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the investment in animation and art, because yeah, it started off with this coming soon, one day later logo that they posted, and then the following day they revealed that Eve will be performing My Hero Academia's TV anime season 6 second core opening theme song, broadcasting again January 7, 2023, and of course again we already know that Six Lounge will be performing the ending theme, Kitakaze. And initially I was super like, wait a minute, I know the name Eve, what anime have they done? And they've done music on Jujutsu Kaisen, that's a huge one. They've done music on Chainsaw Man, that is enormous. They've done some pretty big titles, not to mention Dororo, which Dororo is absolutely fire. That's, you know, one of those classics, Osamu Tezuka. So yeah, getting Eve on board is a big deal. I'd imagine, as I've been telling people, that with the music industry and the anime industry slowly coming even closer together with Sony's involvement and, you know, buying up everything or whatnot, we're gonna see more music being incorporated in, down to even the press releases. Like, they've always, you know, did press releases for opening and stuff like that. The fact that they were hiding who was the, you know, artist that is going to be a part of this new opening up until literally release time of the opening, that was a little bit peculiar to me personally. I feel like they've done that before, but it just felt like they were trying to get a little more grandiose with it, and considering they got Eve involved, that is a big name. I still really hope that they're going to, you know, kind of use that as, okay, we're hyping this up also because these episodes are really, really good. And what I mean by really good, like, they actually put the time and effort into making these episodes quality, making these episodes something worthwhile in terms of like, oh, come on, season 6, this was supposed to be that season, and it was still really good. But yeah, I'm hoping the second half is where they decide, you know what, we're gonna put in those people that were animating Mob Psycho 100 onto the project because it deserves it. But again, we'll see. Either way, Eve will be performing My Hero Academia's TV anime season 6 second opening theme. And the next story is something that I could not wait to talk about because this is going to be massive and big. In case you haven't heard, the Pokemon that you know and love, yeah, it's ending. They're going to be doing a new Pokemon anime in 2023 that will not be starring Ash and Pikachu. Pretty much they are retiring, seemingly, Ash and Pikachu from the franchise. However, a lot of fans, including myself, were like, okay, the finale's coming up, right? Because they're doing a new final season. It's going to wrap it up, all of that good stuff. There's a lot of people we gotta see first. You know what I'm saying? We can't let this go completely without getting what we need. This article is giving me a lot of hope for what this final season is going to be, because apparently Misty and Brock return to Pokemon anime for Ash's final episodes. The final stretch of Ash's Pokemon adventures start next week on January 13th, and to get us prepared for the eventful Waterfall of Tears, the details on the first few episodes of Pokemon Aim to be a Pokemon Master revealed today to be bringing back a few familiar faces and sounds, and they got a trailer so far that shows Misty, shows Brock. I saw Team Rocket in there. I think Gary was in there. I'd have to double check, but yeah, Gary better be there for the finale. The series confirmed that the first episode will feature Ash healing up an injured Latias, which is kind of crazy that they're just gonna have, okay, he's kicking it with a legendary Pokemon to start things off, with the second episode seeing Ash and Misty reunite and going for a spot of fishing, which, another thing, they better bring the bike stuff up, okay? Ash better, like, yo, you champ now, dog? Yo, big champ. You better pay for that bike. I'm just saying, Misty's gonna be on your head top. Episode 3 will feature the return of Brock and Sylin, who was featured in a special episode of the Black and White anime together, separate from Ash's journey through the region. Yeah, I remember they did like they did a couple of different anime for Pokemon that didn't have Ash, but it was always Ash at the main center. Pokemon Aim to be a Pokemon Master will once again feature Mezaze Pokemon Master as the theme song, which was the original theme song for the series in '97. Don't be confused. That's not the one that we got in the West. I wanna be the very best, which, if they're bringing back the OG for the finale over there in Japan, it will be a travesty if 4Kids Entertainment don't cough up, or whoever has it at this point, the rights to use the original Pokemon anime song for the finale when they bring it over here to the West. It has to happen. If not for the entirety of the season, at the very least, the final episode needs to end with dun-dun-dun, I wanna be, like, it has to, okay? It just has to. If it doesn't, that would be one of the biggest missed opportunities. But again, we shall see. It says the song, that, you know, Japanese one, has been remixed into Mezaze Pokemon Master with My Friends and was previewed in the trailer above. And again, Ash's journey concludes starting January 13th in Japan. No English timing has been confirmed, but it is going to Netflix in Japan, so I do know that Netflix over here has Pokemon, or has had Pokemon, so maybe we could get Pokemon. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I'm hoping for this final season to do everything that we need it to do, and so far, at the very least, again, they're bringing back the OGs. How can you finish Pokemon without having Brock and Misty alongside with Ash and Pikachu? You gotta do it. And I also think, personally, on a side note, I guess I would say that Pokemon is probably, despite the fact that it's the end of Ash and Pikachu's journey, it's going to be the end of Ash and Pikachu's journey as a duo, but for some reason I feel like they're more so okay with ending it for Ash and not necessarily Pikachu. And I personally think somehow, some way, they're going to have Pikachu incorporated into the next Pokemon anime, whether it be that these kids are related to Ash and Pikachu had kids at some given point, he bred Pikachu, and they have like little Pikachus that this is their parent, or something along the lines of that. I have no doubt that they gotta have Pikachu, because anybody that has no idea about Pokemon, one thing they'll know is, isn't there like the little yellow rat? What is his name? Pikachu. Like, people know Pikachu above anything. He's probably one of the most popular things out of anime, period, globally. So I personally think they're not going to get rid of Pikachu, but they might put down our boy Ash. He might finally be turning 11. Yeah! But yeah, people, Pokemon final season, the wrap-up will be bringing back Misty and Brock, and It's gonna be special. They better bring back that opening for the Western version. I'm just saying, I need it. I want to be the very best. Okay, and next up, this was something that I definitely wanted to talk about because it's gonna be the talk of the town by the time this episode drops. I believe it's actually right around the time this episode drops, because here's the exact time Trigun Stampede, the 3D CG anime, will be coming to Crunchyroll. A brand new Trigun series is just around the corner, and we got all the details you need for the premiere. Trigun Stampede will launch its first episode January 7th at 8:30 a.m. PT, which I believe that means 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. And yeah, it'll be available in multiple places, including North America, Central America, South America, Europe, Africa, Oceania, the Middle East, CIS, the Philippines, Singapore, India, Pakistan, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. And I probably butchered that last one, but yeah, it's going to be available in a lot of places, and I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it regardless, but I know that there was a lot of people that were like, I don't want 3D CG, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they play this one. But yeah, the new Trigun anime, as you're watching this, is up and you can watch it. Let me know what you think if you've seen it already. I'm gonna definitely be watching. And I also wanted to bring you guys' attention that Vinland Saga is making major waves over there in Japan, because it says here, Vikings all around with Vinland Saga TV anime are teaming up with the Northman film. Japan is getting Viking fever this January with the premiere of the second season of the Vinland Saga TV anime on January 9th, as well as the release of the critically acclaimed film The Northman on January 20th in theaters across the country. To celebrate the release of both, the two are teaming up to support each other with a video of Thorfinn and Canuti discussing their overlapping circumstances with the story of the Northman as the trailer plays in the background, and we got some art of what that movie looks like, and yeah, it looks like it's a Vikings era. So yeah, not only is it the year of the rabbit with the new year, but it's also the year of the Viking. Let's go. Okay, we have the weekly Shonen Magazine author comments courtesy of Jose_Ke. There's no Shonen Jump this week, if I'm not mistaken, so no Shonen Jump comments. And let's start this off with George Morikawa, author of Hajime no Ippo. Congrats on your 2-week streak, Kuma-san. I'm guessing he's probably referring to a boxer, maybe somebody from his gym, or he's referring to another mangaka. You never know with George Morikawa. Then you got Tiya, the editor of Blue Lock. This year is the year of the rabbit. My year. Rabbit get lonely easily and can be erotic. Here's to a great year. I'm sure it's going to be an excellent year for Tiya and everybody on board for Blue Lock, considering the manga is indeed blowing up. So yeah, I'm sure the editor is definitely planning on having a fantastic year at that. Then we got an author that I haven't covered in a while, and I want to from time to time, Kanan-sama's Nonko. The fact that I'm still able to function after doing an all-nighter means I still have a little youth left in the tank. Considering the fact that I've been up for like, I don't even know how many hours now, well over a day working, yeah, I guess I'm there with Nonko. Oh gosh, I'm so tired right now. Then we got Nakaba Suzuki, author of Four Nights of the Apocalypse. The horror movie I've been into lately is James Wan's Malignant. The most hyped thing is when the story moves in unexpected ways. I think that's honestly for me one of the most hyped things about any manga or anime or series in general, is like when hype things happen, that's when it moves in unexpected ways. So yeah. Then we got Hiro Mashima, author of Eden Zero. A lot of stuff happened this year. Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope it's a great one. A lot did happen. 2022 was wild. We got Kei Urana, author of Gachi Akuta. Because it's been said that I'm more of a wait and see before moving type of person, I've started thinking I should practice my sneak skill more. What? And we'll wrap this bad boy up with Negi Haraba, author of Ranger Reject. I had a thought of an excellent TOC comment 3 days ago. If I remember it at some point, I'll write it here. And he probably remembered it right after he wrote that comment, because that's usually how it be though. And yeah, people, those were the weekly Shonen Magazine author comments. Again, no Jump author comments this week. It's on break. Pretty enjoyable stuff. Okay, people, and let's wrap this bad boy up with the top 50 best-selling manga of the week, courtesy of Jose_Ke. And to start it off, we got 50 through 41. Opening it up at 50 is Blue Lock Volume 12 with 24,000. You already know that Blue Lock anime is doing big things. Got it at 47, Volume 4 with 25,000. Kaguya-sama Love is War official fan book. 25,000 in 7 days. Dang. Fan book. Okay. Then Blue Lock yet again. The Blue Lock agenda is so strong. Jeez Louise. Volumes 11, 5, 3, and 2. All taking up places 45 through 42 with about 26,000 a piece. And at 41, Chainsaw Man Volume 3. Because don't forget, even though the anime ended, that craze is going bat psycho nuts right now, with 26,566 bringing its total 1.2 mil. Then we got places 40 through 31. Jeez, gosh darn it. Blue Lock at 4. Oh my god, this is almost entirely comprised of Blue Lock and Chainsaw Man, and well, yeah, a couple of Chainsaw Man volumes. Blue Lock at 40, Chainsaw Man Volume 2 at 39. This is absolute madness. Like, you can see for yourself. At 37, at least, a little bit of a break for the monotony. Spy Family Volume 10 with 26.9k this week, bringing in a total of 1.4. Then we just got, again, more Blue Lock Volume 9, Chainsaw Man Volume 1, selling 27,000. I'm wondering how long it's going to take for the Chainsaw Man slowdown to begin, because right now it doesn't look like it's slowing down at all. Then we got places 30 through 21, more Chainsaw Man Volume 11, 28,000. Passing the 1 million mark for that volume. Then Chainsaw Man again. Oh my gosh, there's just too much Chainsaw Man this time around. Volumes 10, 9, 8, 6, 7, all placing with roughly 28,000 copies apiece. We got Record of Ragnarok, The Legend of Lu Bu. Is that a spinoff? That's probably some sort of spinoff of sorts. Volume 7, in 6 days, 28,000 copies. That's not bad. Chainsaw Man yet again returning for 21. I swear it feels like if I'm doing this on purpose. 28,000. And then we got places 20 through 11. Chainsaw Man Part 2's first volume, aka Volume 12 of Chainsaw Man, with 31,000 this week, bringing us total to 690. It's about 10k shy from 700k. All right, we doing big things with Chainsaw Man. Let's go. I think a new volume's coming out soon too. Then we got a lot of more unknown stuff. Like, this looks like a baseball series, maybe the Batcatcher. Okiku Furikabute. Alrighty then. That sold 34,000. That was just random. We got Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itar Honki Dasu. Is that some sort of spin-off of sorts? Again, I don't know. Volume 18 with 39,000 in 4 days. That's very good. Then we got the Slime series at number 11 with volume 22 selling 45,000. Yo, in 18 days, 400k, crazy. Then we got top 10. At number 10, Ace of Diamond Act 2 Volume 32. In 10 days, 97k, 52 this week. I wonder if there's any more volumes or if that's the last one for now, because, you know, the series is over. The author had to stop because his mental health was bugging out. So yeah, interesting. Then we got JoJo no Kimyo na Boken Crazy Diamond no Yo, these names be ridiculous. They got the new JoJo's Diamond is Unbreakable spin-off series Volume 2 in 7 days, 54,000. And this is again a Diamond Unbreakable like spin whatever, but a manga that's so old and it's selling 54,000 copies with this new thing. Like, that's nuts. Slam Dunk, the first Slam Dunk resource, in 11 days, another 85,000, bringing his total to 216k. I don't understand it. Japan must really love Slam Dunk, and they're just going all out for it. Then we got Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 21. In 24 days, 1.14 in total, 96 this week, dropping down. I think it was number 1 or it was top 3, I want to say, last week. It's at number 5. We got Blue Lock. This is probably one of the latest volumes, volume 22, selling 97k this week. In 10 days, 176. So Blue Lock is steadily increasing. It has not surpassed Haikyuu. It has not surpassed Kuroko, but it's rising. That's interesting. At number 2, Record of Ragnarok, the regular manga, volume 17, in 6 days, 123k. And at number 1, Kaguya-sama Love is War's final volume. That is so dope for the final volume to debut at number 1, volume 28, with 136,740 copies in 7 days. That's a beautiful way to end off your manga's run because, yeah, with it ending and then debut at #1, I'm sure that author is through the freaking moon. But that was the top 50 best-selling manga of the week, courtesy of Joes_K. A lot of interesting surprises. Not much shonen on here, minus, of course, like, you know, the instant flood of Chainsaw Man and Blue Lock, but yeah, still a dope one. But yeah, people, that's all we have for this episode. Let me know what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story. Again, sorry if this wasn't the biggest episode. There was, you know, a little bit of a break this week, but I came through the best I could. That's all I have for this one. I'm Finette World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace, and you guys just watched another episode of Forever News. Have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Yeah. I have a dream alone in my room as I sit with the tea. Couldn't possibly think what I often see, and you don't even know how I often blink. Lights be flashing and looking at me, such an odd, unique. Yet I'm so unique, and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably read bleak, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.